Hey guys, I'm just doing a bit of restoration on the Bosch headlight relay, which is going under the engine bay, high visibility item, so it needs to be looking good. Right, so it's rusted in the engine bay over those 27 years when the car's been rotting away in the field. Idea today, what I've got is we're going to reverse plate it using electrolysis. So what do we mean by that? Well, what you can do is use white distilled vinegar as your electrolyte, which is what's going to be part of the chemical reaction. This is a DIY job. Got a 12 volt power pack here. Essentially it's a battery charger shoving out about 500 milliamps, but really you need something about an amp to do something like this, so I'm going to change it in a minute for a bit more power. 6 to 12 volts electricity is what you need for this job. The first thing to do, if you haven't got any bits, you haven't got a plating kit, which I haven't, and you're not doing this as a full-time job, which I'm not, it's just a quick repair, use vinegar. And then what you do, you've got pos and neg terminals here, that's your 12 volts. Depending on which way round you connect the crock clip to the metal, it either strips it or plates it. Okay, so when it's positively charged, the outer molecules of the metal, the electrons, get stripped off and they travel through the vinegar. This is only rough, don't quote me on this. Then what you do then, you have a piece of metal on the negative terminal. In this case I've got a 10p piece. You usually use zinc plate, which you get by stripping a battery down. In the moment I'm just using a 10p because what I'm doing, I'm reversing it. So the rust that's on here is going to start to break down and be deposited onto the coin. So that's what's happening, and if you look, the coin is bubbling away because that's receiving the outer metal of the relay case. So what starts to happen is the rust starts to break down. You can see now where underneath that rust was. If I start to rub it, you'll see it's stripping it back. There's some pitting on this side, which no matter how I plate it's always going to be there, so it really wants skimming. Now that means paint, so I don't know whether I should just lightly put the filler in there, skim that off, then get a zinc paint that's as close to passivate as you can and do it that way. If I get a matte zinc paint, and it's going to pass as the closest I can. That way I can get rid of the pitting, otherwise you're going to plate it with the pits. See it? So you can see, look where it's been half dipped in the solution, how that has coated it. So I might just put the whole lot in, let it just give it a coat as a sort of rust proofing, and then paint it. See how that tries. I mean, at the end of the day, if I don't like it, I'll strip it back and start again, but it's cleaned it up okay. That's it. I might go for some paint and see what that looks like. I've deposited the surface of the coins, has deposited onto the case, giving that effect, which is better than what I thought. Quite surprised really. Yeah. There's some pitting issues here though, so I've just remembered I've got some silver solder, and I'm wondering if I heat that up I can just load that. Yeah. I know it might be obsessive, but when you're looking at the 71BB part number and everything matches, you think, well, I want to save as much original components as I can off the car. Yeah. Everyone thinking, well, why not just get another one, but I ain't seen any, and why not salvage what I've got? I've got the time spare to just make this as mint as I can. Yeah. And when it's in the engine bay like that, you can look at it and say, yeah, I've spent some time making that the real deal.
beautiful, that. Nice
Yeah, that's 10p pieces though.
Nice piece of silver.
That's 10p coins that did that. It's been electroplated. It was that colour originally.
Yeah.
I made it that with a bit of vinegar,
Yeah.
12-volt car battery charger and some 10p. I've decided to change the swing bar brackets for the original ones because I like the idea on bolting on the springs on the top, so I need anti-roll bar holes. So I've used the old ones to line up the holes here, drilling some pilots now, and then we finish off with this 12mm. So a slight mod there on the trailing arms for the axle items. This is prop shaft paint, undergoing paint. We've shot blasted it down and we're giving it the smooth right treatment onto bare metal. Only works on bare metal. Don't try painting hammerite over any other primer if it's not a hammerite primer, because it doesn't work. It all peels off and you end up with a right mess like I did on the axle that time. So yeah, just going to stick one more coat on this now, and I'm going to leave that prop shaft as another job done. I've got more axle work going on still. A few more ancillary items have been dragged out ready for powder coating. You're now down to interior work. Now we've got the centre console support, gear handbrake gate clamp, a few other bits. These springs are back now, the back springs are back. They've been coated, they were alright. As you see in those earlier videos, the brake drums, brake assembly, front hubs have been galvanised, they're going to start being reassembled. There's lots more bits. There's another box of bits here has arrived. The headlight fronts have arrived. A few others. Servo back plate bracket. And we're just, I think that's the last paint job actually, that. So let's get one more coat on there and I'll show you what I did with the relay in the end, the headlight relay. I changed my mind on it, so I'm just going to get another coat on this. See what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Advice that I've learned, some people probably already know it again, but why not share what you learn? Hammerite takes at least, well, 2 weeks, probably longer, to cure. It isn't good. It takes a long time before it's really hard. It's just has to continue hardening, so just paint it and just leave it, get it out of the way, somewhere safe, then dump it, because if you start messing with it trying to reassemble it, it just chips, scratches, peels. I mean, it's not as bad on bare metal, but try it on a primer and don't let it harden and you've got no chance. It's not good on a primer anyway, unless it's hammerite one, which I don't think they do, because it's just bare metal paint, isn't it? So anyway, I learnt the hard way. I've painted that now, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to go nowhere near it. I'm going to hang it up in the back and leave it for a few weeks before I even think about it. In fact, I'm not going to need the prop shaft until the very last minute, so this just go into storage, hang it up, leave it, let that cure really well. So that's the prop shaft. Let's move on to something else. Let's see what else we can find. We're back on the relay because I didn't like the original job that I did. It didn't show the writing up properly. The paint had got into the text on the front of the relay casing, so I shot blasted it back and started all over again. I'm using what I think is a more accurate metal colour for the casing, which is engine enamel aluminium, and it's a no primer paint. Got it nice and hot in this room, so just dusting second coat over the top, and that's all it's getting. Just that second coat. I don't want to lather it with paint, because you start to lose the text. So that's the printed Bosch text on the top of the cam. So just getting that last one in there now. Now my can did have a little pinhole in it, so I've just filled it from the inside, and there's a little bit of fill in that top corner where the pinhole was. It was quite rusty when I got it, but I think it's turned out good. So that's now finished. That's going to cure for a few days. So I got it moving around. Relay done, or redone should I say, because I'm OCD. Right guys, we're on to heater matrix. I've burned off the foam pad. This looks like not a bad core. No apparent damage to this. I've got some hot water going in now. Now I'm going to shove it in caustic soda, give it a good clean out, see what we come up with, see how clear it is. I'll do a flow test on it and just see the flow rate through it. If it's alright, I'll save it. Okay, so it's cooking away. We'll leave to cook for a few days. That's the heater matrix in caustic soda and hot water for a while. Here's a good one for you. Anyone able to chrome plate plastic? Look at this. They must chrome plate the whole dash first, and then they paint over the chrome, leaving the bits that you want chrome exposed. So unfortunately I'm not able to chrome plate plastic, and I have to go and do some research. I've got some chrome effect spray which isn't as good. Anyway, carrying on cleaning this off, and I'm going to see where I'm up to with it. Well, that vinyl did not want to come off. It was well stuck on. It was peeling at the edges, so it had to come off because it was faded and tatty, but not nice. I've got to say, I'm not looking forward to doing this. Okay, I've stripped it down. This is a trial of the silver paint, or what they chrome paint. How they did it at the factory, the whole panel was chrome plated, then they put the black detailing and the blue panel on after, leaving the chrome exposed. And we haven't got any chrome. If this chrome paint looks good, I'll go with it. If not, it'll be stripped back and the unit will be sent away for chrome plating, as the factory would have done. So I'll just see how it goes. It's a bit of an experiment. We're playing around to see how we go on. Continuing to clean and strip down the dash. It's a tricky job because the glue that holds on the wood effect vinyl is stubborn. It's hard to sand off. However, we're getting there. So I'm just concentrating on the raised profile parts of the dash, because they're what you chrome, and also around the bezel perimeters, the pod perimeters, if you want to call them that, the pods there. The whole thing gets chrome plated. I've found a place to do it now, so the whole thing gets plastic chrome plated. But you've got to make sure it's nice and smooth. I've run the sandblaster over it very lightly, and then also a bit of thinners as well. So that's what it's looking like at the moment. I'm just going to go over it with the shot blaster very lightly again. Then I'm going to put a guide coat on, which then comes back off. That's just to see if I've missed anything. So then once that goes on and it's looking uniform, it's going to get sent away to the plastic chrome platers using the vacuum process. I can still feel a bit there actually, it just keeps on coming, but these areas are getting covered, they don't really matter, but you may as well just clean it all. It's mainly the pods. Funnily enough, there's not a lot of chrome that shows through on it, but what will show through will be really good and hard wear, and you'll be able to clean it without worrying that your paint's going to come off like you do if you use silver or chrome paint. So that's the idea, get the dash looking good.